Let's look at the relationship of comparison here. Comparison is going to be designated by CF within your arcing diagram. And the definition of comparison is the relationship between a statement, a proposition expressing an action more clearly by showing what it is like. The relationship between a statement expressing an action more clearly by showing what it is like. And with comparison, you're going to see a few different constructions with keywords. One is even as. You'll see a construction that is as so, where these words are separated in a sentence, but you'll see examples of that when you see that as so construction. Also words like, that's funny, words like or just as. You'll recognize this in the same way that we use them in English. For comparison, you're going to label this. Again, this is a subordinate relationship. So in your diagram, you're going to label this within the arc, CF. You're going to label the comparative phrase, and then you're going to draw one arc over both propositions to designate that there's a comparison that's being made here between these propositions. So let's look at an example of this together, an example of comparison. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 33. And Samuel said, "As your sword has made women childless, so shall your mother be childless among women." So we see the first proposition after we've read over this passage. The first proposition, the first verbal assertion is Samuel said, "As your sword." And you have, when there's a quote that's happening here, introduced by a phrase like, "and Samuel said," and "Moses said," and "Jesus said." You could separate that out. There's a relationship that we'll get to down the line that you could use for that, an idea, an explanation. If you wanted to, generally when I'm arcing a text like this, I'll just keep that phrase in the same proposition as the proposition that that person is making, because this is what they're saying. You can do that as you like, but I generally keep that all in one proposition. So the first proposition then includes, "And Samuel said, as your sword has made women childless." As your sword has made women childless. And then we run into this word "so," and we notice that it comes in the sentence after the word "as." And so we have this "as so" construction that I was alluding to when we talked about our key words. That your situation is going to be just like, to use another key word, this situation of other people. So, as your sword has made women childless, so, second proposition, shall your mother be childless among women. That's the second proposition. So really there's two propositions here. So let's begin to diagram this out. We can write these out separately so that we can begin to define the relationship. And Samuel said, "As your sword has made women childless, comma, so shall your mother be childless among women." A serious threat or a serious promise that Samuel is making here. So let's label these two propositions. This is verse 33, so we'll label this 33a and 33b. We'll draw a line and one arc over each proposition, and then begin to ask, what is then the relationship between these propositions, between 33a and 33b? And we noticed this construction, as so. As your sword has made women childless, so shall your mother be childless. So we know he's making a comparison. And so I will use the CF. CF, this is the comparison that's being made to the situation. This is the comparison that's being made to the situation which Samuel intends to bring about. And so I'll label that first proposition the comparative phrase, although the relationship exists between the propositions, and then I will draw one arc over the top to say that the relationship between 33a and 33b is one of comparison. A comparison is being made here using that as so construction.